Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to check fresh release from Eduard. It is modded in 1/72 scale. It is a weekend edition kit and it copies MiG-21MFN. So as you can see, we have this tiger marking option on the MiG-21, but obviously there will be another one, and you can see it as well on the box art. Here it is, with some yellow segments. Hence those nice yellow lines on the MiG-21MFN writing. So this release is already available. This is a commercial sample, so it means you will get exactly the same stuff as what you will see in this video review, and with no delays we are going to start this video review. So first of all, box size is typical for this manufacturer. Here you can see comparison with my hand. Then on this side we have here two marking options so that you are reminded which profiles are included into this kit. There are no other marking options except of those two, so keep it in mind. And here we have some information where it was made and also number of the kit, blah blah blah. So let's open it. It's a top opening box, and here is what we have inside. So just give me a second. So we have all plastic sprues, as far as you can see, packed into the same plastic bag. We also have assembly manual and decals, even PE parts and resin inside. Surprising. But we will talk about it a bit later. First we are going to start with plastic parts. So this small scale MiG-21 is relatively fresh plastic from Czech manufacturer, and it is as good as its bigger brother. And especially considering that there was no, I would say, decent alternative in small scale before, so now it is, let's say, truly king of the MiG-21 kits in the small scale. And now they decided to move it to the weekend line as well, because before it was available only as a special edition and as a profit pack. But now we get a chance to buy it in a more, I would say, accessible option or variant. So, what do we have here? This is a first clear plastic sprue. Let's zoom in. And as you can see here, we have quite unusual for Eduard shape. It's a square shape for the clear parts. Usually they prefer to use the rounded sprue. I guess now all frames in new kits will be just like this. Nevertheless, here we have all clear parts, and note that you will be able to copy the open canopy. That's really cool, because some manufacturers just include one piece canopy and they're done with it. But here we have a proper canopy parts. But the only thing we do not have, because this is a weekend edition kit, masks sheet. So masks you will have to buy separately. Eduard has them as a separate add-on set, so you can get it from official Eduard website together with the kit. And I would recommend to do it because it will significantly influence the quality and the speed of the assembly. So it's worth spending some money on this stuff than spending your time on masking, in my opinion. Okay, next here we have first gray plastic sprue. This one is dedicated to various parts, because here we have two fuselage halves, we have one piece tail segment and also one piece lower wing half together with top halves here, and also engine nozzle, several versions here. So parts division might look unusual, but it was more or less the same in the bigger kit as well, in 1/48 scale. So I think those who build the bigger brother, they will be just like home here. And external detailing here looks quite fine, even though scale is quite small. Let's focus a bit more. So we have here recessed panel lines, we have riveting, everything looks completely fine, and I do not have any complaints about those parts. And it's really cool that we have top section molded as a single piece part, so it means you won't have any possible seams in such visible areas, so it will be really easy stuff to assemble. Here inside we have guiding pins and also various guiding tabs for internal elements. Again, that's really cool, it might be helpful for beginners. And note that here leading edge is pre-molded on one of the wing halves, so basically you just install it here and you won't have to sand everything, because it is already prepared to be installed as another half, and you won't be able to see gaps once it is in place. Okay, next we have another gray plastic sprue. Here it is. This one is more concerned with various minor elements. So for example, here you can see nose cone. We have cockpit parts here, for example here the pilot seat parts, the combing panel, also some parts for the engine, and some elements are really tiny, so be ready to use sharp tweezers, because otherwise it will be really difficult to get them into the right spot. But let's not forget that this is 1/72nd scale kit, so that's why some parts are really small. Let's zoom in. So now you should be able to see all those parts in detail, and I would like to remind you that there is also a huge choice of various accessories available from Eduard, be it resin or PE parts for this kit. So if you would like to get even more detailed model, you can just order them together with this weekend edition kit. And that's how some modelers do it. I mean, because in Profi Pack you get PE and mask standard out of the box, but some modelers decide to go for the resin cockpit, let's say. So they do not buy the Profi Pack, they get the weekend edition kit, and then they get the resin cockpit, which looks like this. Here it is. So resin cockpit, and it should be easy to install, and obviously it will feature more details in comparison with just the plain plastic kit, even upgraded with PE parts. Next we have third and final grey plastic sprue. This one is dedicated to external armament, and that's a really cool feature because even in weekend edition kit we get armament set in the box, so you won't have to buy it separately, just like in Tamiya, for example. Eduard decided not to save pennies here, they decided to include it out of the box, so some of them will stay in your spare parts. Obviously you won't be putting all this stuff on the aircraft, so that's really cool. You have some spare missiles for your next projects, and believe me, those look quite nice. And if those are not enough for you, Eduard also offers a resin kit, so there is a really huge choice, and I guess we are getting spoiled by Eduard. But here we also have all the guiding pins, especially for those elements which are divided into two halves. But note that mostly missiles are molded as a one-piece element, so it's just a matter of careful separation from the frame, and you will be done with it. That's an advantage in my opinion. And frankly speaking, I do not understand why some Japanese manufacturers try to save pennies on such, I would say, useful stuff, because I mean, we are all used to see missiles included into the kits, and now it is like, yeah, get the separate kit. I don't know. So here we have quite unusual bonus. This is a tiny PE thread, which is made in Eduard, of course. Why it is unusual? Because all the weekends or all the weekend edition kits, they usually do not include any additional bonuses such as PE, masks or resin, but this one includes PE parts, and there is also a tiny plastic bag with resin parts. I'm not sure where this will be used, but here you can see them, even some red parts, so I guess this will be used for the position lights. Maybe they are necessary in order to copy the particular marking options, who knows. Next we have the plastic bag with decals sheets, so let's open it. There are two decals sheets inside, so we will check them in a second. Okay, so what do we have here? First one is printed in a smaller format, here it is. I guess here we have all the main symbols for two marking options. Note that some stencils are also here. Of course, they are printed in Eduard. We also have some decals for the cockpit, so at least something will be copied. This means seat belts, instrument panel and side panels. So if you don't want to get anything extra for this build, still it will be pretty much detailed for out-of-the-box project, in my opinion. Next we have another decal sheet. This one is completely filled with various stencils, so be ready to apply all this stuff on your small MiG. It will be quite a tedious process, we can say straight, but final result will be rewarding, so it's worth getting your patience and applying all the symbols into the place. Next we have assembly manual, so here it is. Let's zoom out a bit. So, assembly manual is printed in form of typical Eduard brochure. We do not have any short history note because this is a weekend edition kit, so we get parts mapped straight away. Assembly process starts with cockpit, then we continue with engine nozzle here, and next we continue with installation of those two parts into the fuselage halves. Here you assemble the lower wing half and do not forget these oxygen bottles. Then you install the top part of the fuselage and also bottom section, which is molded together with the wing section, as you remember. Here we have the tail surfaces. Next we continue with nose, landing gear, wheel and leg. Here you have an option to open or close the air brake, so out of the box you have several options for this. Next we assemble the main landing gear wheel, we install them into the place. Landing gear doors, these are rocket boosters. And next we continue with air brakes, in case you want to copy them in the open position, let's say. Here we assemble the pilot seat and insert it into the cockpit, and yes, it will be inserted only after fuselage halves are joined together and closed as a final build. Note, here we also insert nose cone separately, so it might be helpful for those who would like to paint it separately and then install into the right spot. Here we choose whether we would like to build the canopy in open or closed position. Next we continue with assembly of various external armament items, and here you can see the load schemes and two marking options here. So first one comes from October 2002 and you have various stencils placement here. Next we continue with another one from July 2005, and again here we have stencil guide for pilots, missiles, and here for the whole aircraft, and as well as on the last page. So even though this is a weekend edition kit, still we get a lot of bonuses out of the box, and plastic looks completely fine. So if you would like to build small MiG and you don't want to spend extra for 5 marking options and various bonuses in the box, this might be a perfect choice for you. Of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion about such kit here in the comment section below. If you like this video, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye!